I don't know how it started, I don't know what you did. Now I'm the gal that's chasing you up, flip my lid. Come here, eager beaver, baby.
Hello and welcome to
Was That an Orgy? Woo!
starring Charlene and Teresa Bawd, two sisters that explore the topics of sex, sexuality, gender, and sex positivity. We will also try to answer the question, was that an orgy?
We're drooling on our tits today. It's the post-COVID.
I just literally drooled.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
That's a good look for you. I'm sure that happens often, actually. Drool. What's dripping off your chin? Oh, not again.
No.
Oh.
Well, it could be that or the other stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how today goes because, we both have post-COVID brain dead drooling.
Yeah.
Dude.
Major brain fog.
Yeah, we were
I'm
just
foggy.
commiserating with our producer who also had COVID, and I guess the brain deadness lasts for a while. Digestive issues, yes.
Yeah. Farting.
Explosive diarrhea, either one of you?
Oh, today. Yes, as a matter of
It's
fact.
good. I was yesterday.
Oh.
Stomach aches. I was so excited yesterday to finally feel well enough to go out and play Frisbee.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm officially COVID negative on the test. Who knows if
Yay.
that's accurate? Yeah. As I cough all over you guys. Yeah, but yesterday, went out and played Frisbee and was just so like, oh my God, I used to be good at this.
Yeah.
Just stumbling over my own feet.
Yeah.
And then I got nauseous playing Frisbee.
Mm.
So that's another thing. Do you guys have exercise-induced nausea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have lots of things induce nausea. All sorts of things make me feel sick to my stomach. I lifted
Terrible.
weights yesterday.
Mhm.
So weak. So weak.
Yeah. I went up my stairs just today. I played Frisbee again and just had to bend forward for something, and standing up, I went, oh.
You made little old lady sound?
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost little old man balls sounds.
Little old man nutting in his pants.
Exactly.
It's like Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah, where's the turtles coming sound? There you go. Same sound. Different wrinkly animals, same sound.
God. So, we should do a quick announcement before we get into our shit show.
Yes. Welcome to the shit
We
show.
are going to take July off.
Oh, we are. It's official.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have to.
Okay.
Just because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
All
that's
the
so
things.
sad.
I know.
What am I gonna do?
We'll see. We might be able to bring one back mid-July.
Yeah,
possibly.
I could
But
even
we'll
try to do it without you. Just have guests the whole time. Because I don't know. I'm half the crazy people are tuning in for. I hope
you are. You're definitely at least half the crazy.
Yeah, I might be more of the crazy, less the intelligence, but less informative.
You've got a really smart crazy.
You know what? We could do
You're
like we did
crazy
with the GIMP, where we have just I'll have a guest in my bed. That would be nice for me. It doesn't happen.
We could just we could do the whole show from our beds.
Yeah, my new Murphy
maybe
bed.
that would
That's coming. No pun intended. Yeah, we'll see. We'll work it out.
Yeah,
we'll work it out.
We'll work something out. But anyway, there will be a little lag for at least a week early in July.
Yeah,
got a birthday, other things, all sorts of stuff happening.
I got the Cunty Fair I got to go to.
Yeah, so it's also festival season.
It's
and
true.
So, that's also a time I would assume when fewer people are tuning in as well.
It's
but who
true.
knows?
It's true.
Who knows?
People
Maybe,
they're out chucking Frisbees, getting COVID.
Doing the drugs, listening to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, what an epidemic. I mean, I know it's always been an epidemic, but everyone I know is getting COVID right now.
Yeah.
It's cray balls.
It is.
Yeah.
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 I sure did. I got it. I don't even think
Let's
I said
talk about how you got it.
I got it at a BDSM event.
See, I knew it. Your story is so much better than mine. My housemate had it. I did go to a super spreader party, but I was probably the super spreader at that point.
You probably were, yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Well, you are a social butterfly.
You're a super spreader in another way.
I got spread all right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So anything anything fun this week or last weekend?
Let's see. Well, I had a show and
Ooh.
we all dressed in rainbow corsets, all rainbows. I
Yay.
did rainbow eye makeup because I honar diversity.
You
And
do
yes,
honar it.
Yeah, honar it.
You have a boner for the honoring.
I do. But yeah, I missed the gay pride parade. It stopped me in traffic on the way to brunch this last weekend.
Did you yell at people?
I
'Cause
did.
You're like, you're between me and my brunch.
Yeah.
I want to speak to the manager.
Can you guys celebrate your rights and diversity another day? I'm hungry. I'm getting low blood sugar. And then I ate my eggs Benedict Arnold, So I betrayed everyone. Betrayed my people.
Arnold.
Benedict Arnold.
How do eggs Benedict turn into eggs Benedict Arnold? I
don't know, just like eating with a lot of like spite. And disregard for, for the people I love, all the people out there fighting the good fight.
General Turncoat, you sold out.
I sold out.
That was what Benedict Arnold did.
I support all your rights unless you're between me and my brunch.
Give me my eggs, bitches. Oh my God. The egg lady from the Divine movies.
Yes. Eggs. Where's my eggs? Ooh. Yeah, well, I watched a documentary about her. I can't remember her name right now.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I kind of want to Google the egg lady.
Yeah,
it was
Google her.
Fascinating.
I just remember, what was it? Pink Flamingos? Was that the one where she was in the baby?
I wonder if it was a large, oversized adult baby playpen.
It was like a playpen, yeah.
A playpen.
Yeah. And she was sitting in there, I think wearing a diaper, and she got super excited about the Eggman coming.
Oh,
and she had an affair with the Eggman, I think.
Oh, yes. She was so into his eggs.
I want eggs.
I want eggs. And he was into her eggs, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Edith Massey is her name. So I highly recommend, if anyone out there is familiar with John Waters, to check out the Edith Massey documentary. So, God, I wish I could just show this picture. Maybe I can send it to Mike. She was such an exquisite beast of a woman. So it turns out, too, I guess she ran a thrift store in Baltimore.
Oh.
And that's how they discovered her. And, she naturally has that voice, kind of like,
God, such an amazing voice.
Yeah, like Carol Channing, meets Mrs. Chokes on Dick or something like that. Fabulous.
It was from Pink Flamingos. I just had to check myself because, I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time either. In fact, I was talking with a friend the other day. We wanted to see some movies together.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was talking about movies that I would see again that he hasn't seen. And I was just like, have you seen any John Waters movies?
Yeah.
So he was saying, pick your favorite and I'll watch it with you. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Oh.
Because there's so many good ones. And then, of course, there's the ones like Hairspray and Pecker that, those are just sort of easy watching as far as John Waters.
Mainstream for John Waters.
Yeah, but should I show him, Female Troubles where he eats the dog shit right out of the dog's asshole?
Yeah.
That is iconic, epic, and
Pink
iconic.
Flamingos with the butthole, ba 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 uma mau mau, ba ba uma mau mau. Yeah.
But I wonder if Mom's listening because I love remembering how when we used to tape VCR, to VCR.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah, and so we would hang out at our friend Brent's house when his parents were out of town. What idiots leaving a bunch of teenagers.
I know.
Well, they left their oops baby at home.
Yeah.
Oops, they did it again. They had another baby and they would just go out of town. I think they were just tired. They were in their fucking 70s and had a teenager. They trusted him.
Oh my God.
And then we would go over and ransack the house and watch John Waters movies and pornography, and order, wine coolers from a taxi. You could do that in the 80s.
Yeah. The 80s were like the Wild West.
They were
and I remember you guys getting their, what was it, fish oil or krill oil and squirting them all over each other too. So y'all smelled like fish sometimes when I come over.
The story you're remembering is that basically this chick, I won't say her name, she said that she was, couldn't go to prom because her parents wouldn't let her go to prom.
Oh,
And then she ended up showing up at prom And everyone was so mad. And it was one of those like,
I remember who that was.
yeah, we won't say the name.
No, of course
I
not.
hope she's not listening, because then she's going to find out I'm the one that did it. But anyway, back in the day, remember what we used to do when we were really, really mad at someone. And again, keep in mind, we were teenagers in Beaverton. This is before the interwebs and everything. We were bored. We were moneyless. And so when someone betrayed one of our friends, we would drive around like the back roads in Beaverton, Rock Creek, and look for a roadkill. And then we would take the roadkill into like, the car, the trunk.
Yeah.
And then go and sling it on someone's doorstep.
Yeah.
Our brains were not formed yet. We would not do this now. We know how to handle conflict and our feelings, but that's what we did.
Yeah.
That was our big fuck you. And so what we did was when, our friend got betrayed, when we had just been making just like a shit pile, like pig pen out of Brent's parents' house. And so what we did was we were like, we're going to get her. Let's roadkill her doorstep. And so we went and like, got me and Ricky, we went out on the back roads and we were going forever driving. I was in Mom's car. Sorry, Mom. And
sorry about the smell in your
know.
trunk.
Well, that time we put a roadkill in one of the Celica trunks and the smell was there for like 6 months. It was awful.
No.
So this time we took a bucket. And so we went out and like drove all over the back roads and we saw this huge bloated possum.
Oh,
and
God.
When me and Ricky rolled up on it, he was like, "It's perfect." Remember, he was like the ringleader, right?
Oh, yeah, and also the like the cheerleader. Yeah,
yeah, the cheerleader of everything that was
naughty.
Demonic. Yes, and so then he grabs an empty bag of paper. Not paper, potato chips, and goes up to the roadkill and grabs it by its tail. And he just picks it up. It was epically huge. And he puts it in the bucket and immediately starts dry heaving. And then he pulls it into the car and I was like, no, hold it out the window. Don't pull that in my mom's car.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Prince's house and then, everyone's like, oh my God. It was king shit of Roadkill Mountain.
Yeah, no kidding.
So then they were like, Ricky was like, I don't know. I don't think it's gross enough. He whips out his dick, pisses in the bucket.
No.
Yes. On the carcass.
Oh my gosh. He is so naughty.
So naughty. And then everyone's like, it inspired everybody. So everyone was like, all right, let's find everything gross in the house. Teenagers partying for a week. There was like rotten chicken in the fridge.
Oh,
there was, there was
dude.
All the old wine coolers that were rotting everywhere. Cigarette ashtrays dumped in it. And then his dad was like a cardiologist, and he had these marine sea limpids.
That was it.
Yeah,
marine
sea limpids, those gelatinous pills. And so they stunk so bad.
They did. They smelled horrible.
Yeah, they were obviously rancid. And so then, we were all popping them in this like horrible, like fetid carcass goulash. And then, someone grabbed a stick and started stirring it. And the smell hit us and we all went, oh my God. And then, for some reason, like, even though these were never my ideas, I guess I'm just such a pushover. I was back then. Yeah. Then everyone's like, okay, let's go over to her house. Let's dump it on the doorstep. And then everyone's like, you have to drive, Rusty. That was my nickname back in the day. And
Rusty.
So, they were like, you have to drive. And I was like, oh shit. I never did anything bad. I wasn't even, I was barely skipping school back then. So I was like, okay, if it'll make you like me, I'll fucking do it. So then we drive over there in Mom's car. And then we pull up to the house and Ricky goes like, Rusty, you have to do it. And it was like this house that just had the greenest landscape lawn. It was like a colonial house, big white pillars, and you had to like walk up this very steep, perfectly manicured lawn. So then like he's like, you have to do it. And I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't do it. And he's like, I know her. They'll recognize me. You have to do it. And so then I was like, peer pressure. I caved and then grabbed the bucket and went up to the front step. And I remember kind of almost disassociating, like it was so pristine. Like we didn't grow up with money. But these people had money.
Yeah.
And then and Ricky was in the car. Do it. Come on. We gotta go. So I grabbed the bottom of the bucket and just surreally dumped this ungodly mass of vomitous hell and putridity all over this welcome mat. And just started shaking. I was like, who am I? Oh my God, moral dilemma.
What'd I do?
And then ran down the hill, and Ricky's in the car.
Of course he was.
Laughing, of course. And then he grabs the bucket outside the window, and I get in the car, and he's like, go. So we drive home. We tell everybody about it. This is before iPhones. We would have video if it were for that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. And I could be in jail. But then we go back home and everyone's like, yeah, screw that. You know what? And then we showed up to school on Monday and, we were all in remember when there was a smoking section at school?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Times have changed much.
Oh, so much. Yeah.
So then she comes up to us and we're all like, right. Oh no. She knows she's going to confront us, and she's just sitting there smoking. And she's like, the weirdest thing happened this weekend. I think a coyote barfed on our doorstep. and we all went into fucking hysterics, dying, laughing. And except for me, I turned green and was like, she knows it's me. She's fucking with me. Yeah. But those were the days.
Yeah, because no one had security cams or anything back then, too. I mean, unless you were really wealthy, then maybe you had security cameras, but no.
Yeah. And I know no one saw me because they would have opened the door and been like, clean this up or eat it, bitch.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Totally.
Anyway,
eat it or wear it.
I always wondered if she found out. Anyway, we'll never know.
Well,
maybe we'll know now.
Maybe we'll find
She'll be
out.
listening to this and just be like, it was you.
You little shit.
Yeah. And I'm going to go home and find a carcass on my doorstep.
Well, maybe enough time has passed. I like to think that maybe enough time has passed. We're okay.
Yeah. Maybe she meditates.
Yeah.
And is a rational adult.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all hope so. Well,
yeah.
And we all do horrible, well, not we all.
Let's speak for ourselves here.
Many people do awful things when they're teenagers and before their brains are fully
It's true.
formed.
And, just trying to get social acceptance and giving into peer pressure and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's gosh, if I could tell one thing to my kids, which I have told them a million times, don't know if they listen, but that whole listening to your candle, it's that area right around your navel. And when you think about doing a thing, how does it make you feel inside? And if it feels all warm and fuzzy, then it's probably a good thing to do. And if it feels like shards of glass and ice going through your body, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Check in with your little candle and see how everything's feeling.
Right. And if they have ADD, it's hopeless.
Because that candle gets blown out.
Yeah. We like the fear. We substitute adrenaline for dopamine.
Yeah. So
I love leaning into fears.
So it's like firecrackers instead of a candle. It's firecrackers. How are your firecrackers feeling?
There you go. Exactly. If you have ADD, it's if it feels right and excites you, don't do it.
That is a really good piece of advice, Zoe.
If someone dares you to jump off a staircase balcony into a pool, don't do it because you'll end up with 3 buttholes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eventually just one.
Eventually she's down to 1.
Yeah, because they're just like Highlander. There can be only one butthole. There can be
only one. One to bind them.
A friend said, Buttlander, the lickening.
I like that. The lickening.
The lickening.
Yeah. Lick it before you stick it. So today we're just low key,
questions.
Yeah. Oh my God. People trust us to answer questions.
I know. Isn't it terrifying?
Fools.
I love it.
Fools. All of them. I love it. Yeah, brings it on. Otherwise, I'll just tell stories the whole time and incriminate myself.
We have a story a question/comment, whatever, from a woman who is solo poly. And she dates 3 people.
Wow.
Or has been dating
busy.
3 people.
Mm-hmm.
Back in April, she matched with a guy on a dating app. And he lived in a different state, but it was okay because she's a flight attendant and had lots of layovers there.
Layovers.
And so they didn't really meet in person. Like they did a lot of, it sounds like she puts a lot of into her like long distance chatting and such. Yes. Because
sapiosexual, maybe.
yeah, perhaps. Maybe she is sapio.
Mm-hmm.
And they made plans. And then before the trip, before she was going to show up, he said he met someone local and it wasn't going to work out. He didn't want to put any energy into it, basically.
No.
Around the same time, a partner / friends with benefits at that time told her that he started dating someone seriously and couldn't see her anymore too. So 2 out of 3 right there, gone.
I guess the world's
Ouch.
finding out she's unlovable. I hate when that happens.
As your worst fear says,
It's
you
totally.
are unlovable.
Yeah, that's what comes up for me is like, oh no, they're all finding out. I'm unlovable.
Exactly. And then as she's writing this, she says, fast forward to today. A few weeks ago, she went on a local date with a guy, hit it off. They had great first date sex, which is not common.
No.
Great first date sex is not.
I've never had it.
Second date,
Just
also
kidding.
had
Just
good
kidding.
sex again.
Yeah.
And then she sent him a message last week to see if he was available. And he said he was. And then he backed out at the last minute. And she asked, do you want to be friends with benefits? Because she's planning on moving away.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's seeing someone else monogamously now and can't do anything physical or romantic anymore. So she's obviously super disappointed.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's kind of feeling like she's getting wedged out of things
like
constantly.
An epidemic of rejection in her life.
Yeah.
That sucks. Ugh.
And she says she's exhausted, doesn't know what she's doing wrong. She keeps meeting these people that she likes, and then they wind up getting serious with someone else.
Mm-hmm,
Wah,
mm-hmm.
wah.
I'm curious too. Does she say like the people that she's with that end up getting serious with someone else, are they ending up in monogamous relationships?
Sounds like at least 1 out of the 3.
Because it's making me wonder if like the people that she's choosing are not, really naturally prone towards monogamous relationships, but they're kind of like, hey, I'll do you here and now, but really I want to be in a monogamous relationship. Maybe that's their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So,
and that happens. That does happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's a good point of caution for people who are on dating apps, is that if someone says I could do either monogamous or non-monogamous, really clarify that when you meet them. So when you say you could do either, what's your preference?
Yeah.
And what under which circumstances would you be monogamous, and where would you be non-monogamous? And hopefully the person is very honest with you about that and saying like, well, basically I'm filling the gap until I find the one.
Yeah. Right.
And then,
or I'm filling your gap until I find the one. Something like that.
With my cock.
With my
cock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it seems like she's frustrated because she's meeting people that she has good chemistry with, and then it's just falling flat because they have, I think in the end, kind of different goals.
Yeah. Different relationship priorities, needs, ideals.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the challenging things I'm wondering about these dating apps that I'm not on. And, is it a click of a button as to how you identify what your relationship, needs are? Because
for the most part,
being a person who like, I don't like labels. I don't want my box put in a box. That's one of the things that's frightening about, putting it out there, that you tend to run, ethically and monogamously and non-monogamously, or that, you're embracing that.
Yeah.
But then I always feel like I don't want to identify as one thing, because I want to do what I want, who I want, when I want.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like feel like I'm a relationship. What would you call it? Like
anarchist?
Anarchist.
Yeah.
That's the word. Thanks.
You are.
I was like agnostic. No, that's not it. Yeah. The other a-hole word.
Yeah. The A word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. And I think, well, in that case, you might hit both buttons. And then if someone asks you, you'd say, well, I'm a relationship anarchist. And So
and that has a nice ring to it. That's going to keep them coming in, you know?
I don't think that would scare off too many people, honestly. Like,
I think that by and large, though, the majority of society has a negative association to anarchists.
yeah,
They don't really know what it means.
Right.
You think of like punk rock people that just like want to, piss on the, all you can eat buffet and smash windows and
destroy shit.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. So I come in and destroy relationships. Yay!
Yeah, fuck you.
And
it's nihilist.
That's not what it's about. Yeah, it's not relationship nihilism.
Yeah, that's different. I've dated that guy. But
yeah. And I think it might just be for a while that as a flight attendant and being someone who's moving in 6 months, like maybe you're just in a position of transition right now and you're not going to be satisfied for a while. It's like I'm in the same thing. And this is why I say this. I am in a space where my life won't be settled for months. It hasn't been settled for years. Like I've been in the process of getting divorced for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Like it is a pile of shit. I feel like a baby with a dirty diaper constantly. Nothing feels good. I never feel satisfied. I'm never completely happy. I am cranky 24/7.
There's people that have that fetish. I think you should put that out there on the dating site.
Yeah, if anyone wants an extremely cranky, oh no,
I want to look up the term for the baby
I'm more
fetish.
like angry mommy.
Angry mommy. There's people with that fetish too.
Yeah, it's adult baby.
Adult baby.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called adult baby.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. And that's I've seen diapers at sex shops and stuff. Yeah,
wow.
like adult baby diapers.
I've got diapers, but mine are like actual like adult undergarment diapers for my character pruning.
These look like baby diapers, including the cute little patterns on the little Velcro part and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I would say in some ways, this is what I'm telling myself all the time is to release yourself to the idea of moving forward at this particular point. You can't, you're not going to, you're really not ready. When 6 months from now, when you move, maybe you'll be ready. Maybe your circumstances will be better and you can say, I'm in my place. And now I can start a relationship because it sounds, obviously
she's moving far away.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously you're lovable and hot and wonderful. You're getting lots of dates. That's all awesome. Like that part's working for you. I think it's like, for me, if someone lives out of town and even if they say, I'm a flight attendant and they want to start a relationship with me, I'm immediately like, nope.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be someone's booty when they come into town. Like that's just not, that doesn't build intimacy. That show, and I'm so not interested in doing like the long distance, like writing messages and video chatting and stuff like. There are perfectly amazing human beings right here in Portland, that I could be having dinner with.
You know what she needs to do? She needs to find the sapiosexual with the avoidant attachment style. Then it's like, they're all into the intellectual, messaging back and forth, and they really, need that physical distance to down-regulate all their anxiety, negative emotions. Yes.
That is fun. Oh my God, that segues.
I know some people. I got suggestions. Just kidding.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do it.
The other things that come to mind is that, like, from time to time, we all have to do what I call eating the shit sandwich of life, and sometimes you're really getting the 12-foot hoagie, with the corn-eyed rattler laying on the bun, and you get the corn and the nuts stuck in between your teeth. I could go on with this analogy, but I'll stop there. Bottom line is that
you're right.
The shit sandwich times of life are the times in which you develop character. And they can also be times when you actually, deepen your relationship with yourself. And I think those are the times when we learn how to love ourselves and heal our inner dialogue the most, is because you haven't developed that yet. And then you find yourself in these circumstances where it feels like I was saying, like, oh my God, everyone's rejecting me. It's me. But it's framing, it's just people are doing relationship the way they need to. And unfortunately, this has happened to me a lot too. It's like sometimes in relationship, someone you might have all these feelings and projections about them that feel so right and you want it to work, but they have the information, the knowledge that it's not right for you guys. And it sucks when, unbeknownst to us, that's the future trajectory of the relationship. And we, finding a way to honor that information when it comes, and sit with the grief of those dreams, fantasies, ideals, and hopes that you had about this relationship. It's hard to not take it personally, but it's so important, because if you did stay with that person, it's just impossible. It could have turned into a shit show, a hellish shit show.
Yeah, they really could be saving you months of heartache. Like they could be like massively avoidant and just be like, dude, I can't do this. I'm gonna do this, and this. And they see the writing on the wall. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
They might be saving you from months of heartache.
Years.
Years of heartache. Like, the longer you're in it, sometimes the worse it hurts when you break up. And so it's like, they might be doing the kindest thing in the world by just ending it quickly.
Yeah. And something I totally believe in too is that oftentimes what we do when we fall like in infatuation or lust with people is we're falling in love with their potential. And oftentimes we fuck ourselves by projecting all these hopes and ideals of who they are. Yes. There's this fantasy in our head that we're hoping for.
100%.
Yeah, we're looking for that person. And despite how ethically non-monogamous someone may or may not be, we were all raised with goddamn Disney and those fucking find your soulmate romantic fairy tales. And so,
someday my prince will come.
Yeah.
Bring me a bucket. I'm gonna barf.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Is that especially early on in a relationship, you don't really know someone, and so you are living with, or you're spending time with someone who is mostly a fantasy or an idealization of someone. Like you might be reading who you think they are off of the evidence you're given, but there's a good chance that you're painting a fairly rosy picture.
Yes.
And you might be ignoring some red flags because we all do that.
Yeah, I have another theory that I came up with.
Come to us with your theory. Yes, okay. Bawd. Come at us.
Come at you. I'm going to come on you with my theories. Weird, you're my sister. But so
roll with it.
In relationship, there's you, me, and we. And the we is this magical little like psychic bubble that happens only between you two people. Everyone brings out a different side in us. And, sometimes you really like that we. And, what people don't realize sometimes is that we that you fall in love with, it's not just how they make you feel, but it's how you're making them feel. You're bringing out a side in them that they bring to that relationship that in some ways is a reflection of you. Is that too abstract?
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah. It's the energy that the two of you create together. And that is something that neither of you can create entirely on your own.
Yeah. And so some of what you're falling in love with or in infatuation with, again, it's how they're making you feel, but it's also what they're bringing to the table in your reflection. It's almost like your own energy reflected back at you.
You're falling in love with them and your own reflection to a lesser extent.
Yeah. Deep shit. I know. Boom shaka. Drop the mic.
As deep as
woke
a
ass shit.
10-inch cock.
Yeah. Thought you were going to say a petri dish. Thanks for that.
No, you're welcome.
Oh, God. Me have deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
Yeah. Did we answer that question?
I think we did. I think we got it.
Maybe a little too much.
Yeah. She's probably like, oh, God.
Well, the other thing, too, that I would say is, so this is an opportunity to be very explore what could be underneath those fears, like what feels like rejection. It really might not be rejection of her character or her worth or her beauty, desirability, but it's just, again, people just feeling out really what works for them
Yeah.
what they need, from a relationship.
Right.
And that's the time to bolster up, that inner dialogue, reassuring yourself,
Yeah.
yeah.
And don't give someone something you can't afford to give, like just to make it work. And that's kind of what I would be afraid of in this, circumstances, that you go like, well, I'm feeling lonely, so maybe I could, commit to this, and this. And it's like, no, if you're not in a position to do a thing, don't commit to doing it, and do the hard thing and be alone for a while. And it sucks and it's shitty. Or don't be alone, but just be honest about why you're somewhere, why you're with someone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good that the no's are removing themselves from your life so that the yeses can come in and have that gap to fill, quote unquote. Because if your gap is filled by other,
that's right,
fill in the blanks, then, so there you go.
And there is something about the unattainable. So maybe these guys were just kind of unattainable from the start, and maybe that's part of what made them so delicious.
It's true. Like, it's true that we want what we can't have. I recommend to everybody who finds themselves constantly in relationships with people retreating to look up, now I'm going to forget what it's called. Oh, I remembered. Intermittent reinforcement. Intermittent reinforcement is what a lot of people with avoidant attachment styles use. It's like, first they love bomb you, and then they, once they sort of make you fall in love or help you fall in love with your own reflection in this dream and this ideal, then they, kind of like pull back in the relationship and then start to breadcrumb you. They'll give you just enough to keep you like hanging on. And it's the recipe for addiction in humanity itself. When we have an anticipation for something, we get so excited. We release all this dopamine. And then when we finally get that reward, get that thing, it's so much better than if we would have naturally gotten it without all that anticipation.
Right.
It's crack at that point.
Right.
Yeah. The crack they give you is crack.
It's crazy because, like, as someone who can be admittedly avoidant at times. Hello.
Sure.
Hi. My name is Charlene, and I'm sometimes avoidant.
And that's why we love each other's attachment.
I know.
I love avoidant men. You love anxious ADD men.
I do. I do. I love anxious ADD people.
We should just be in a relationship together.
Oh my God, that's so creepy. But I think we talked about this when we were like 7 and 9.
Yeah.
Or
we're
7
a little
and
inbred
5.
anyway. Let's just take it there. Let's just
Oh my God. But from the avoidant perspective, what that looks like is I'm feeling like I'm drowning, and there's too much attention, and it's like there's things all over me, and it's like it's like when you have a comforter and it's pulled over your head. It's like you're suffocating. You're like, fuck, I gotta pull this thing off, and you're like,
too much responsibility.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit, I just pushed them away pretty majorly. I better like go back in. And so that's what the breadcrumbs are from, is like, you realize you just pushed someone away and you're like, oh, this is going to be a problem. I better get back in there and like give them some love, but I'm not like ready to go all the way under the comforter again. I'm gonna like, I need to keep my head out of the comforter for a while.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's funny because it like feels very different from both sides. It's like this really...
That's good insight. I appreciate that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's like, so when you withdraw, they're feeling abandoned, and then they start to go crazy, have their protest pleas.
Right.
That overwhelms you. You pull back more, but then you don't want to be abandoned. So you come back in and give just enough to be like, no, I don't really want to leave you, in the big way. So here's a little bit, but can you just like fucking calm down? Because like
I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, and I think there's also something in the avoidant attachment style that's about taking too much responsibility for the other person's well-being.
Yeah. That's definitely a fear.
Well, and you definitely in all your relationships. Take responsibility for your partner.
God.
You're the one that holds down the good job that leaves them like a really long leash, and you raise the kids almost on your own. You take so much responsibility for others. And so then when someone like, throws another like shit stack of responsibility for their well-being, you're like, I
can't do one more thing.
Yeah.
That's really the reaction is like, I can't take one more thing.
Yeah. And yet that's your comfort zone, like that you were raised with. So it's like, you're Yeah, the moth to the flame.
Yeah, I know,
Mhm.
exactly.
Well, we figured you out.
I'm so exposed.
Yeah, right. We could talk about this shit show, but I think I have enough. We all know who I am.
Okay, so this one's really interesting because this one does get into more avoidant and anxious interplay, which I think is really
fabulous.
fun.
I'm
going
pro.
to have
Bring
to
it.
do some paraphrasing, but
Okay.
basically, it's another woman writing to us. Thank
Mhm.
you,
Thanks, girl.
ladies,
Yes,
for listening,
queen.
and to our germs. Thank you very
Woo.
much for listening. But basically, so she's saying that she has a very casual way of communicating with her partners.
Mhm.
And this is another person who is like solo poly, and she has a couple partners.
Yeah.
And so what she's saying is that like with one partner, it's really easy and she's just texting back and forth and da 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 da, and it's very simple and free flowing.
Mhm.
And then with her lover, she's struggling.
Wait, the other one's not the lover?
Well, yeah, they're
Okay.
both lovers, but I guess one is like more someone that she's
Primary?
been more primary.
More primary.
Where she's
all right.
like, has this free flow back and forth. It's more like fun and like a tennis ball. You just smack it back and forth.
Right.
Just like a ball sack. You smack it back and forth.
Right.
But then she's saying with her lover, she's struggling because when they're together and they connect, it's really great. And they have these awesome connections, like emotionally,
Oh.
intellectually, physically, all that stuff.
Mhm.
But then between their connections, which he's a parent of small children, he goes silent basically, and this silence is really hard for her to manage.
Oh, girl, I got advice.
And
okay.
it's bringing out her anxious side.
Yeah.
And he is kind of becoming more avoidant, it seems like.
Right.
And then she kind of wrote, she definitely said any reflections or tips are welcome.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then she said, she's kind of as a PS, I think I've been withholding contact from him. So basically she's been holding back because she's afraid of scaring him away. It's like, don't scare the cute bunny. I love the bunny. I want to hug the bunny, but I'm afraid I'll scare bunny away. So
right.
I think we all feel like that sometimes.
Withholding the authenticity, fearing that, it's like we can feel being a person with an insecure, gotta put my dog down, insecure attachment style. It is hard because like part of that woundedness comes from having inconsistency, in your upbringing. And so when things feel unsafe, then and if you're like, again, wounded with the insecure attachment style, being insecure, you don't have this inherent sense of self-worth. And which brings about the ability to express your feelings and needs openly. You feel like, oh my God, well, you judge your own emotions. You're so afraid of abandonment that you tend to try more to manipulate the circumstances. And one of the books that I read called Insecure in Love was a book for insecure preoccupied attachment styles. And one of the things they said is like, it's really important to reach out and ask for reassurance. And that doesn't occur to you if you're feeling insecure because you're like, well, I don't want to be needy and insecure. But
yeah, that's going to seem needy.
Yeah. Yeah. And also you're afraid that you're not worthy or that, they're going to give you the honest reflection that you don't want to hear, which is like, not so into you.
Right.
Or I don't want to do this for you. But to be able to ask for that reassurance, establish that, and man, if anyone is feeling like they have an insecure attachment style, I highly recommend that book because it helps you to understand, your thinking process. And then it gives you other tools so that in the future, when you're interpreting a situation in a particular way, instead of going into that, kind of neurotic, but sometimes going into protest pleas, where to keep someone there instead of being honest and just saying, are you here? I kind of need some reassurance, that you go through these protest pleas to try to extract and manipulate validation from the situation, or play small and not be honest about who you really are, fearing that's unlovable, which comes from the wound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's quite a pickle that you get put in, because you're torn between having an authentic reaction or an authentic communication style and being small.
Yeah.
And I don't love the being small thing.
Yeah.
So
get out of here.
Yeah. I hate that. So I would say, for the benefit of your relationship, a great thing to do is to bundle shit. So when you are thinking about saying something to this guy, bundle it with some other things. So, and even write it down. You could start composing a text to him a week before you send it, or a few days before you send it. I think sending a text every few days, that's not too clingy at all. And if he can't take that, you know what? Maybe it's not a great match.
Yeah, that's true.
That's okay.
How avoidant are they? That's the question.
Right.
Because just so you're someone who identifies with being more avoidant. I identify with being more preoccupied, insecure, neurotic, hot mess. And so, how would you feel if someone asked if from time to time they can just ask for reassurance from you? Just say I'm feeling this. How are you feeling? I'm feeling like I want a little reassurance. That, I'm still in your heart. I'm still in your,
Yeah. And I think that feels good to have someone communicate really honestly about stuff. So it would be, if I was getting that message every day, I'd be like, oh my God. But then if I got it a couple times a week, I'd be like, hey, yeah, you know what? Yeah, sorry, I've been doing this, that, and the other. And I've just been I've had my head up my own ass. But yeah, I think you're amazing and awesome. And like that. So that doesn't feel like a burden. And of course, everyone's a little bit different in how often they're comfortable communicating and to what level of openness they like to be. But I think, that doesn't feel like too much of a burden. I would just say, if you can, lump things together, lump the communications together, because sometimes, especially if you're really excited about this person and maybe you're more excited about them than they are about you, which is perfectly fine, by the way,
right?
That you just kind of say okay, I had this thought about them and I had this thought. Oh, and I have a question for them. And this question is pertinent to the next time I see them. Lump those three things together, send them in one singular message. That makes it a lot easier for, let's say, someone with small children, which he has, and someone who's maybe avoidant, which he might be. It makes it easier for them to go okay, I need to respond.
Yeah.
And that becomes a time-sensitive thing.
Number them even. Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Number 1, number 2, then they can get back to you. Because it's someone who has small children could be mistaken for someone who's avoidant. Because,
oh my God,
God, I remember when I lived with you after your first divorce,
and
just watching you try to pull off a day job, 2 toddlers, and dating. Holy shit balls,
It was insane. I kept leaving my keys in the front door.
Yeah.
I was just so I was so distracted.
That's a me thing.
I know.
That's you're down with ADD thing.
I was so distracted. I could not remember the most basic things.
You weren't even dick-stracted back then. It was you were just drowning.
I was drowning in shit.
And that brings up another thing that I think is, a good idea is that, when you're anxious, insecure, preoccupied with having your attachment affirmed, it could be good to kind of shift your focus to assuming, we go to the worst case scenario, that fear of abandonment or not being enough. And then, to make a regular exercise, shifting your consciousness to assuming the best of them. What would that look like? Instead of oh no, we found out who I am, I'm unlovable. Just to go to oh God, he's probably so busy, so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
His priorities are his kids, and he could be so exhausted. Whereas us single people that don't have kids have so much more psychic space to, think about what we want. obsess about, like getting things from the outside in, because your consciousness, your self-absorption is not as broken up with all these demands on your psyche and your time.
Yeah.
So
that is a great practice to do. And I read a great article. I wish I had it at my fingertips right now, but I read a great article about that where it was like someone did the practice of turning their, this guy is not responding to me right away, and it must be because I'm, enter negative thoughts here, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then she did the exercise of kind of going like, oh, well, I imagine he's probably getting home from work now, and he's probably changing clothes, and he's probably making dinner, and he's probably his kids climbing all over him, and
Right.
and so you go through the motions. And you imagine, oh, maybe I pop into his mind for a second. This is an important part. Maybe I pop into his mind for a second and he thinks, oh, I like her. She's cute and funny,
right.
Like give yourself a little positive affirmation in there and go like, yeah, I made it into his mind for maybe a split second.
Right.
But it was a positive split second.
Right.
And that's a good thing.
Right. And check reality too. Like, I think a lot of us, again, the more anxious you are and the more you have a fear of abandonment, we tend to try to mind read, predict the future, and it usually has a negative slant. Like in your mind, it's been too long since they last contacted you. And then, again, your brain is off and running in that handbasket of hell, like with all these shitty scenarios instead of doing what you're doing, which is, and the amazing thing is at the end of your life, you could be running negative scenarios your whole life, worrying about stuff that hasn't happened, and be on your deathbed and be like, God, I wasted so much of my life just like, projecting these negative scenarios that either never happened or you dealt with fine, when really you could be running positive scenarios the whole time. And if the positive scenarios didn't happen or did, but let's imagine they didn't, you're still spending your time creating these positive scenarios and enjoying your life more rather than torturing yourself with fears. So be a positively affirming fucking hippie.
Totally. Yeah. And there's so like getting into like positive affirmations of just like when you imagine other people and how they think of you, try to imagine it being on the neutral to good side. And if you think there are things that you're doing that are pushing people's buttons, for the love of God, like look into that, go be like, hey, was I an asshole? Maybe I need to look at that. But the good thing is if you're viewing yourself in a neutral to somewhat positive light, that makes that investigation a lot easier. Because then you're kind of going like, okay, so I'm still the hero of my story. I'm still the good guy. But there is like that little oops, like that Achilles heel sort of thing. Like, because every hero does have that. So if you allow yourself to be the hero, that yes, they're wounded, they're flawed, blah, 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 but you're still the hero. You're still the good guy.
You're the hero in your own movie.
Or the heroine.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hero. Hero. Where ho? Hero. Yeah.
We're the hero. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I had another squirrel thought to add, but I think it just is a fart in the wind.
It's squirreled away?
It's squirreled away. Squirrel!
Let's see if we can do one more.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more?
We do. We have 8 minutes for one more.
8 minutes. Fabulous.
Okay, this one I thought was really fun. This one is not related to jealousy. It's actually like kind of a Sex Party 101 question, which I think is super fun.
Oh boy, let's lighten it up with a sexy talk.
It's another woman writing to us. My boyfriend and I are thinking about a swingers party.
Having one?
Okay. Throwing a swingers party. Oh, well, no, actually, maybe it's going to a swingers. I'm going to say going to a swingers party. Let's say that they find someone they want to have sex with. Then what do you do? Is it okay to just ask if they want to have sex with us? What if one of us is interested in them? Is it okay to say that, or should we just move on? What if there's a small group of people talking? Is it okay to just join in, or is that intrusive? I understand how to have the conversation, but I'm generally just very direct. I'm kind of a, hey, you want to fuck kind of person.
Oh, I envy that.
I love that.
Hey, you want to fuck?
And by the way, good job for asking for what you want.
Exactly. Yes.
Hey, you want to fuck? Yeah. I mean, if that's what you want.
Don't beat around the bush about you wanting someone to beat around your bush.
Yeah, totally. So these are great questions about sex party. etiquette, and it is like a different sort of etiquette.
Yeah.
So I would say if you and your boyfriend are in the place where you play together all the time, if you guys meet another couple and you only like one of the two partners of the other couple, move on.
Mhm.
Because no one should ever take one for the team. That's a super bad idea. It never goes well.
Mhm.
So, if there's one partner you guys don't like in that couple, don't take one for the team. Move
Well, do
on.
people ever just, like, have the one they're just talking about, like, finding people to partner swap with directly, like, 2 against 2.
Yeah, and that's the way a
Okay.
lot of swinger kind of parties work out.
Mm,
Although some
mm.
couples swing a little bit differently where they're like, "Hey, I'm a free agent, she's a free agent. We're both, just like we're not salt and pepper shakers." But a
Right,
lot of
right.
times it is like salt and pepper shakers. So it's like, "Hey, you salt, get with this pepper," and, swap it
Right,
around.
right.
So I would say, yeah, if there's any question, move on. Always better to leave something desired on the table than to have some regrets the next day.
Right, and to check in with the partner, I can't
Yeah.
remember if that's was already,
Mhm.
discussed because I have ADD, but,
Yeah.
if you aren't sure if your partner is okay with that,
Mhm.
about splitting up the salt and the pepper, as you said,
Yeah.
that's a good thing to clarify because then maybe you can approach the other couple and be like, "Tell me about your salt and pepper shaker bond. Like, do you guys ever
Yeah.
just, like, separate and, just
Yeah.
swap peppers or salts or,
Yeah,
whatever?"
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm,
Then as far as, like, if you see a group of people talking, if they're just talking,
mhm.
that's fine to go up. Just like
Yeah,
any
not
normal conversation.
right.
"Hi, I'm Bob. This is Brenda.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you."
right,
Like,
right.
they're, yeah, normal people. Um, if they have clothes off, if they're doing sexy things, I would say the closest I would come to introducing myself to a sexy situation would be like this. "Hi, guys. What you're doing looks really hot. Um, I would love to join in, as would my partner here, Bob. But I know I don't wanna add any pressure. I don't wanna pull away from this. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. I'll be back in 5 minutes. You can give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. No problem either way." And then you
Mhm,
walk away. Do not
mhm.
stand there and watch them talk about it.
Yeah,
Super
right.
bad form. That's like, "Can I play with you guys?
Yeah.
You look really fun."
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't stand there with your arms crossed crying and masturbating, like, please,
Some
Yeah,
people probably have a fetish for that, though.
that's true. That might be the yes, the thing that gets them
Oh my
in,
god, I've heard a name for that. It's the tear jerker.
Tearjerker! Oh my god, that's so great. Oh my
I think
god.
I got that from, American Horror Story.
Okay. So funny. I came up with that concept in my own head, like, so many years ago,
Yeah.
and now there's a term for it.
Yeah, the tear jerker.
Oh, yeah. Squirt. Oh,
Yeah, totally. Oh
yeah.
my god.
I've always loved that visual. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then as far as, just saying, "Do you wanna fuck?" I would say, generally maybe try and say it a little more delicately than that, because not everyone's down with
Mhm.
that kind of level of,
Bluntness?
yeah,
Maybe they want a
bluntness.
little
It's
more
very blunt.
seduction
Yeah.
in it. Like, make
So
it sound
flirtation.
appealing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some flirtation and kind of dance around the edges a little bit, because that is fun. The dance is fun.
Right, right. It's like how you serve food. Do
Mm,
you like slap eggs on someone's plate and go, fucking eat that?
mm.
Or, like ladle it in a very,
Yeah.
seductive, enticing, delicious way.
With some hollandaise or some cream of
Yeah, there you
Saint-Guy.
go.
Mhm.
Yeah, back to Eggs Benedict. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And it takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to serve them appetizingly your
Yeah.
desire.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one thing that whether or not they take you up on it, expressing your desire is something that's inherently, delicious for all of us. When someone
Mhm.
expresses their desire, that
Yeah.
like, whether or not we give in, we appreciate it. Like I think, I've told this story before, but at that Sex Positive Portland gala that I went
Oh,
to at the
yeah.
Doug Fir blah, blah,
It was
Jupiter
at the
Hotel.
Jupiter Hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, that like when this guy like approached me and was like, he saw me kissing someone else, and then he approached me and was like, "Hey, I saw that kissing. That looked really good. Maybe want to kiss you." And then, he's like, "You want to kiss me?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not really feeling it in this moment." I
Yeah.
hadn't been watching him and,
Yeah.
building desire. So then, and he was like, "Okay, hey, no problem. Thanks for taking care of yourself." And he walked
Yeah.
away. Then I was like, "God, that's hot. Come back here." Because, when someone, him expressing his desire for me in such a respectful way and honoring, what I wanted and supporting me in that immediately hot. Points for hotness right there.
Yeah. And he didn't stick around and try and convince you.
No, he smiled.
He was just like,
yeah, thanks for taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh, get back here.
I think, and I think that's what works in both of those scenarios. Like with the one that's like, "Oh, this looks like a lot of fun. I'd love to join you guys. I'm going to go get some water. I'll be back. And just check in with you in 5. I'm just going to buzz by. I'm not going to stand here like a puppy. I'm just going to buzz by you."
Yeah.
And they might just look at each other and be like, "Fuck yeah, get in here right now."
Yeah.
But don't expect that. Expect to go get water and expect to be rejected and expect to be okay with being rejected. Because you have to, I think the people who are most successful at doing kind of the poly thing they live in a mindset of abundance, love abundance. It is like, and it's not like, "Hey, I get dick thrown at me all the time." It's like an abundance of love. They just feel like they have a pact with Aphrodite and they are doing well. And they're just like, yeah. And those are the people who really do so well in those situations, because it's like they just come across as like, "We're good.
Yeah.
No matter what your answer is, we're good."
Yeah. And it goes back to assuming the best. Like I even thought just then, like, how could we reframe it in our minds from being rejection even? It's like if you come up to someone with a bunch of ice cream and they're eating cake and you go like, "Hey, do you want the scoop of ice cream?" You might be like, "No, I'm just so into this cake." You might love ice cream another time.
Yeah.
So reframing, taking taking it personally out of it.
Right.
Take the rejection out of it.
Yeah. And one way to do that is, I know some people who, if there are more than 4 people in a situation, they can't do it. Like, they're not gonna be able to focus. They can't handle it. So it's like, for some people, it's just a matter of how many people are in the room or the bed or whatever. And so it really may not be about you most of the time.
They might be lactose intolerant.
That's right. Anything. Yeah. They might be like, "Get your ice cream away from me." Yeah.
I'm highly allergic.
I'll have the runs for days.
Yeah. I'm going to start sneezing and kegel this guy's dick off. Get away from me. I got vagina dentata. Squirrel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. And then the other thing that you might walk in on is maybe these people are having really insane energy for each other. And you just may not register at that moment because they've been maybe flirting for like an hour or 2 hours, whatever. And you're walking in on it and going, "That looks hot." Well, of course, because people who have great energy for each other, that's going to look amazing. That's going to look hot. It's going to look like chemistry.
Totally.
So maybe you're just walking in on that too. And so again, it's not about you. It's about them and what their experience is and their preference at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the highest vibrational frequency is appreciation. So, see if sometimes you can just find a way to appreciate, and like maybe even use the COVID brain composure. Is that the word? When you're like, it's the opposite of jealousy. What is that?
Oh,
compersion. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Compersion. Yeah. To even compert for these strangers and be like, "Oh, I'm so happy for them. That looks delicious."
There is a phrase for that. And I've actually done exercises around that where it's witnessing. Where you can be in a situation where you're at a party or something like that and you're witnessing people having a really wonderful connection. And it's not that you're consuming it, it's that you're letting it wash over you and you're giving it back to them and you're just like part of the energy and you're enjoying that. And it's compersion. It's absolutely that. So it's like, and we all had to practice that where we witnessed and just like let it fall through us. So there's no longing to be like, I can't wait to jump in there. It's just like you're holding space for them.
Yeah.
And enjoying and appreciating the beauty of what they're experiencing.
Yeah, instead of going, I, me, mine. You know?
Yeah.
When do I get mine? How can I get in there? Mine. Yeah. Don't seagull out.
Yeah.
Mine.
So,
we did
oh my gosh, we went over.
Oh, we did. We went over. Sorry, Michael.
Sorry.
I don't know how it started. I don't know what we did.
Oh my God. Okay,
yeah.
So we have a Venmo. We have Patreon.
Yes.
You can you can subscribe, do the things.
That you always hear about.
Hit the little bell thing so you get notifications when we're doing new videos.
We really would like to be able to make some ad money one day. We won't have those, like, what are they called? The ones that happen in the middle of the show. And
like ad breaks and stuff. Oh my God, I watch some shows that have so many ad breaks.
Maybe we'll just do the annoying rectangle that happens at the bottom of the video sometimes.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
And they just kind of float there.
Right, exactly.
Just don't cover my cleavage, bitches.
Yeah, we'll pick the AdSense that has sex toys and good lubes and stuff like that.
Hey, but speaking of which, Redbubble ads come up a lot in my YouTube.
Uh-huh.
My Redbubble free mustache rides sticker has been selling quite a bit lately.
Really?
Isn't that funny?
That's
great.
I
guess free mustache rides are back in.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Free mustache
and it's
rides.
the what is it? The Bawd? I think it's the name of the Redbubble account.
I believe that.
The Bawd. It has the butthole donut and the free mustache rides.
God, we got to get on that stuff. So many ideas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you can find the Was That an Orgy logo T-shirt or sticker or water bottle or whatever the hell you want it to be on, socks, anything.
Yeah.
Also on the Bawd. I think it's all one word.
Yeah.
On Redbubble.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to my GIMP, by the way. I think there's a new design. And I told him, I want you to have a T-shirt design that says, disclaimer, I'm an asshole. I thought that'd be a good one. Just, some people need a disclaimer when they go through the world. Anyway, but let's let Michael go.
Yeah, speaking of being an asshole.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's run overtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. We love you. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Who wrote that song?
Butthole Surfers.
Eagle Beaver, baby. Eagle Beaver, baby.